Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious. Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious.
So, hello, my brother. কি খবর সবার? আশা করি সকলে ভালো আছেন। তোমাদের দোয়া এবং আল্লাহর রহমতে আমি অনেক ভালো আছি গাইস। তো গাইস, কি খবর সবার? চলে আসলাম। আজকে যেহেতু আরএস এর ম্যাচ আছে গাইস, সবাই হয়তো জানোই। আর এইচকে টিম বাংলাদেশ। তো ওয়াচ পার্টি হবে একটা ছোটখাটো, এবং আমাদের যে সকল হোমিজ আছে ওই টর্নেডো আছে এখানে, সবাই কই কেউ নাই। ও শিট, নেট কি খারাপ, বুঝতেছি না তো। নাবিল নাই। আসুক গাইস, তো আজকে শুক্রবার, পবিত্র জুম্মার দিন। হয়তো সবাই ব্যস্ত একটু। আসবে রিওয়ার্ক আসবে, শান্ত আসবে, নাবিল আসবে, স্পিনিক্স আসবে, সবাই আসবে, একসাথে গেম প্লে করবো, ইটিসি ব্লা 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 ব্লা। একটা প্র্যাকটিস করে আসি। ওকে, ও দেখছো গাইস, প্রসেসটা কেমন করে দিছে এখন। লেট তো হইবই, ইয়া না, ডাব্লিউএস না, লেট তো হবে। লাইভ কিন্তু প্রায় 1 মিনিটের মতো ডিলে করা আছে, যাতে কেউ ম্যাচ না করতে পারে বা আরো কিছু। তো যারা কমেন্ট করবা, রিপ্লাই 1 মিনিট পরে পাবা। তো আমার কাছে 1 মিনিট পরেই আসবে। ও পাগল, चेक दे दिए, लाइफ का चेक दे। राइस ले ले मेरे को, हम तो गेम साकिब में फ्री। सेकंड में फ्री থাকলে বলতো লাইফটা চেক দিতে। মই তাওহিদ ভাই, আপনি কি লাইভে জয়েন হয়েছেন ব্রাদার? যদি লাইভে জয়েন হয়ে থাকেন কমেন্ট করেন। এই সাকিন ভাইরে বলতো, আমি ডিসকর্ডে আছি, ডিসকর্ডে আসতে বল, আড্ডা জোনে আছি। আড্ডা জোনে আয় আড্ডা জোনে আয় আবির রইতে গো। ওই আবির, আবির কি রে ভাই, কেউই তো আসে না। বললাম
Your mindscape is mine to reshape.
সাকিন ভাই, ডরাইলে চলবো না, ডরাইলে চলবো না। ओए मेरे को ले ले, मेरे को खेलना इच्छा रे।
Dreams are the true.
ओहो, ओपोनेंट कारा गाइस, एक्सटेरियर इमोन भाईर गिल्डे। ओ गुस्टी मार ইমোলেটর ক্র্যাশ, মানে আমার ইমোলেটর ক্র্যাশ, মানে কি যে বলবো, বলার ভাষা হারিয়ে ফেলছে। আবিরের বাচ্চা, তুই ইউটিউবে কমেন্ট না করে তুই ডিসি তে আয়, আমি বই রইছি। ওই আবিরে করে, আবির আইতে কদি জলদি, আমি তো ঢুকাই নাই আমার। মোহে 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 ওরে সাকিন ভাইয়ের বাচ্চা, আন্টির ছেলে। আল্লাহ আল্লাহ, আমি ব্যাগটা দিস, কেমনটা লাগে গাইস, আনফরচুনেট। 16 অক্টোবর, হ্যাঁ
Dreams
পালার
are the
বার্থডে গেছে
true
না বলো,
mirror of the unconscious.
কোন দল বলো তুই, 16 অক্টোবরের বার্থডে গেল গা, পাগল।
Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious.
গিফটের কথা কিছু বলবো? আরে তোরা আসোস না। $7 million, guys. 7 million.
Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious.
আমি ট্রেনিং এ যাই, আয় তারা। আরে ঠান্ডা ছিল।
Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious.
নলাডি, নলা বড় কষ্ট মানা পাও। বড় কষ্ট মানা।
Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious. Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious. Dreams are the true mirror of the unconscious.
কি বলবো? তো গাইস, ইতিমধ্যে আমাদের ম্যাচটি শুরু হয়ে গেছে। অপোনেন্টে রয়েছে এক্সডি নাবিল, এক্সডি রেওয়াক, এখানে রয়েছে এক্সডি সাকিন এবং এক্সডি টর্নেডো। দুর্দান্ত একটি গেম প্লে নাবিলের উপর, অসাধারণ প্রেসার। তাওহিদের শট মিস, নাবিল ফুল প্রেসারে, একটি শট কানেক্ট। রো তাওহিদের কি গেম প্লে! যেটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি, সেকেন্ড রাউন্ডের খেলা ইতিমধ্যে শুরু হয়ে গেছে। নাবিলের একটি শট কানেক্ট, সাকিনকে পুরো রেওয়াককে খেয়ে দেওয়া, রেওয়াককে সাকিনকে খেয়ে দেওয়া হয়েছে। তাওহিদকে পারবে কি ওয়ান ভার্সেস টু বের করতে? ও ইজি ছিল, কিন্তু নাবিলের পিছন থেকে অসাধারণ একটি কভারের ফলে তাওহিদ এলিমিনেট হয়ে গেল। তাকে ড্রাগনের একটা অসাধারণ স্প্রেতে ডাউন করে দেওয়া হলো নোহান এবং নাবিলকে। আরে ও নাবিল নাবিল একা, ও মাই গড, ও প্রবণের বিচি ফায়ার করা হচ্ছে এখানে। নাবিল প্রবণ ধারা নাবিলকে ভরে দেওয়া হলো, ও মাই গড নোহানের অসাধারণ প্লাস পিছন থেকে ব্যাকফায়ারের চেষ্টা, বাট আনফরচুনেটলি এক্সটি2 নাইট ফিউরি ই স্পোর্টস। ট্যাও ট্যাও ট্যাও, ও ডাবল স্নাইপার, রেওয়াক অসাধারণ স্নাইপার প্লেয়ার। সাকেল ইতিমধ্যে নাইট ফিউরি স্পোর্টস নিয়ে নিয়েছে দু দু এই, 4টি রাউন্ড এবং এক্সটি1 স্পোর্টস নিয়ে নিয়েছে একটি রাউন্ড ফ্রিজ কুক করার জন্য। ও মাই গড, এই একটি গেম প্লের দ্বারা নাইট ফিউরি স্পোর্টস জিতে নিল ম্যাচটি। হুম, এক লগে তো খেললাম, এক লগে তো খেললাম কোহারা। এই তাহিদ ভাই, এরা ডিসকর্ডে চলে আসেন, ডিসকর্ডে আতাই সবার। তা একজন ডিসকর্ডে আসলে চলবে, একজন ডিসকর্ডে আসো, সাকিন বা তাহিদ বা দুইজনে চলে আস। আরে ডিসকর্ডে আস না রে ভাই, বুঝলাম না তো। আচ্ছা আনেন আনেন সমস্যা নাই। ধুর, মেজাজটা গরম। কই কই সাকিন ভাই রেডি ক্যান্সেল করেন কেন? সিলেট সিলেট আবার জায়গা কই নলা। नहीं है मुझसे ও কি আয় হায় এত তাড়াতাড়ি স্টার্ট
Be
কেমনে কি?
careful. Don't get stuck in your own mind.
লাইভে থাকা অবস্থায় পড়ে গেল হাসান গেমিং ভাই কন্টেন্ট। লাইভে থাকা অবস্থায় পড়ে গেল তবলা রিমন ভাই কেমন কন্টেন্ট হবে গাইস? তবলা রিমন কোন ও মাই গড নাম বলো। আচ্ছা আমাদের এক এক্সপার্ট খেলতে গেছে টুর্নামেন্ট আর আমরা খেলতে আসছি বিয়ার। তাদের টুর্নামেন্ট শেষ করে তারাও চলে আসবে আমাদের মাঝেই। পরে খেলবো আমরা কাস্টম আর 3টা বাজে যেহেতু আর আজকের ম্যাচ আছে গাইস। তো আমরা ওয়াচ পার্টি করবো ওখানেই। সাকিল ভাইয়ের বাচ্চা টোকেন আমার। এই যে হ্যাঁ গো এই জিনিসটা ভালো লাগে না ডিসকর্ড রাখেন বুঝলাম।
Resources here.
জেবি চিতা মরা ভাবে জানা হইলো কেমনে ভাই? ও ওই জেবি চিতা তো আমার ম্যাচে। ওই জেবি চিতা আমার ম্যাচে বুঝলাম না। তামিমে আমগুলো Where is BSK bro? BSK 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 नहीं
Hitless mission accepted.
अरे
Revival point here.
আবেরে গেতা গলা খেলবো ইরঞ্চি মালঞ্চি আলা আসলে I love you boy শান্ত ভাই I love you ভাই বুঝলাম না বুঝছি ভাই যে এই পাও আছে অল্প একটু তবে না না বললে কেউ কয় না তাই লাভ ইউ লাগে আপনারাই কইতাছে। হ্যাঁ আজ ভাই আমার কেউ কয় না আই লাভ ইউ আস আস বিগা আল্লাহ আমিন মাছ সামাল টানা জানি
ওই
আমিন
দিন আছে নি করে নো
তারা আবিরের
আমি
ব্যবসায়ী
চেষ্টা করি
বানালেন
মায়ের তাহলে
Head there.
শান্ত ভাই লাইভে খেলার সুযোগ নেই
না
আজকে ব্লেড ওই বেটা আঙ্গ ম্যাচে কে পড়ছে হনবি
দেখেন
আর আজকে ব্লেড যে বিচিতা
বুঝছি না
M5 দিব
নাম্বার নেই যে আমার কাছে
বুঝলাম না সাকিন ভাইরা কি নিজের তো মন মতো খেলতেইছেন ডিসকর্ডও আয় না তারপর আলাদা আলাদা হয়ে খেলতেছে সবাই হোয়াট দা ফাক
Need money for items.
এটা হই এটা করো
বাদ
বাচ্চা
শান্ত ভাইরা আব্বুরা আছে
দেখরে গেম খেলে আবার পিটাই দিতে পারি
কালার ফুট অত সাউন্ড না খার মাইক থেকে আমি মাইক ঠিক কর
আমি মেয়ের মাইক থেকে বেটা ডিলমের সাউন্ড আমি তারে মিউট মেটা দিছি এ আমার না
সরি এই গেমটা বারে রিটার্ন কর ডাবল ডাবল হয়ে যাইতেছে
Hitless mission accepted.
go enemy go
Head there.
মানে কি যে বলবো
এটা গ্লিচ রে ভাই গ্লিচটা দে গ্লিচটা দিয়া অবজারভেট করতে দিয়া
ধর কি কম্বিনেশন মিলে খেলবো বাল সাল সবটি আলাদা আলাদা থাকে মেজাজটা গরম করে দেয় একটা ডিসকট নাই বাল ফালাই বাড়াইছে এডি
তোরা খালি মইলা দাও
খেলটা তো এটা তুই না অন্য কেউ
আমি
আর কেডা না দিবে আমার
আরে ভাইব্রেশন অন করা মোবাইল
करते रहो मेहमान बेचारा আমি কার লগে বয়ে খেলছ রে কেন মোবাইল দেহে
রোয়ান না
অন্য অন্য করে কথা
Head there.
রোয়ান অন্য করে দাও
কাকিন মেরে বাচ্চা কেন আমার
ওই নাইট বাই
দেখ কি নলা কি কমু
এ 590
Help me. Help me!
মারতারে না রে
সিরিয়াল সব দাও আমার।
Thanks.
90 আমি চালাইতাছি। তামে তুই বাড়িটার ভিতরে ঢুক, আমি তোরে যেটা কইতাছি দেখো। সেটিং হলো। এই তামে সেটিং হলো, দেখ 3 নাম্বারটা যা, সাউন্ডও যা। গিয়ে একবার নিচে দেখ একটা লেখা আছে।
ওই ওই কভারো কভারো
Help
কভারো
me!
কভারো জলদি আয়
সাউন্ড মিউজিক এটাকে অফ কর।
দৌড় 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 দৌড়
Thanks.
দৌড়
Help
দৌড়
me!
কভারো
ল্যাপটপে ধরতাম আমি একলা নি।
Quadra takedown. Your team's absolutely on fire.
ভাই কি জায়গা লাগে করে।
আরে ভাইব্রেশন অন ছিল বোকা।
সাউন্ডও লাগিয়ে দেখ। একবারে নিচে একটা আছে, নিচেরটার উপরেরটা আছে। ইয়া এটা টিপা মার। ম্যানুয়াল কর, ম্যানুয়াল করে এটা জিরো কর। ম্যানুয়ালের নিচে থেকে একটা জিরো আসবে এটারে। এটা 100 থাকবে, এটা জিরো কর।
দেখ
করছো?
ঠিক আছে
Wow. Full team's back from the ashes.
কনে কনে
Resources here.
তারপরে
আরে রে ভাই
সাউন্ডটা কমা, তাইলে ঠিক হইব।
Head there.
এই যে মিউজিকে জিরো দে
Resources here.
জিরো দে
সাউন্ডও কি আর মিউজিকে আছে, দেখ 1 নাম্বার এটা জিরো করে দে।
এটা জিরোই আছে আমার
আচ্ছা দেখ, একটা এসিটি লোকেশন দিছি, এটা লো।
সাউন্ড ইফেক্ট ক্ষমা ঠিক আছে নিবার
সামনে এনিমি রে দুইটা।
সব সময় ঠিক করা লাগা পার
আমার সামনে দুইটা।
তোর সামনে দুইটা তোর বামে দুইটা
আরে সামনে রে খানার বাইচ্চা।
তুই একটা জন্য
Flaming glory awaits. Who's gonna bring home the trophy? One team's gone. Looks like their flame snuffed out.
মোর বাচ্চা তুমি লাগিছে না
Strikes. Team elimination streak is smoking hot.
প্লেয়ারের মারতি হেডশট দিয়া।
Help me!
রিভাইভ দাও।
স্কোয়াড না ডুও আমি জুড়ে নামছি ওনার নাম মনে
ভালো গেম আমার কথা তবে। আমি রিভাইভ দাও, আমি রিভাইভ দাও।
আরে হরস না বেটা তুমি
ওর বেটা
পানি
পুরা কাভার হো। নামাইয়া আমি আমার লুট গুলা নিতাম। নামাইয়া নামাইয়া গেছে কি লঞ্চ প্যাড মাইরা গেছে কি রে। রিভাইভ দিয়া
আমারে তুমি বাচ্চা মামা
তার কাছে টুকেন নাই। লাভালোর বাচ্চা কইলে শুনে না।
তোমার ভালো প্লেয়ারের ডিফেন্স রাখতে পারো
রে আমি হরতাম না নি, এনিমি মারতাম না নি।
এখন লুট লইতে মরি যাবো জোনের বাইরে গিয়া।
You feel the heat? The beat is getting crazy.
একলা এত এনিমি মারা যায়নি, 20টারে মারছি।
ভালো মারছিল।
ওরা তো নলা এডাবলম দিয়ে গেল
ওরা তো আমার কিল সব চুরি করে দিছে, আমি কি মারতাম।
দুইটা কিল মারতে বেটা তুমি আমার
ওই ওই
বাইরে ভাই তামিমের এত সাউন্ড আয়। তামিম
এখন মনে হয়
আমি তোরে কই তুই সাউন্ড মোবাইলের সাউন্ড আছে না নি
লাইসেন্স ওখানে আনা না,
মোবাইলের সাউন্ডটা একটু কমা তাইলে ঠিক হয়ে পড়বো
ওখানে আর আনা।
না না তুই আর আপনি ব্যবহার করতে সাউন্ড একটা করতে
এটা তোর ব্যর্থতা।
Wow! Full teams back from the ashes. Help me! Skill on cooldown. Skill on cooldown.
ওই ওই রিভাইভ দে পুরা কাভার বট
Help me! Team's gone!
মরি
Their flame snuffed out.
যার
Thanks.
বাল একটার মারতে যা তিন
হেল
দাঁত
দে
দৌড় একটা ওয়াল মেরে দৌড়
Thanks.
দূর ভাই আমার কিছু করার নাই ওটা
Blazing showdown. The final champ.
মারতে
ওয়াল নাই ওটা আমার কিছু একটাও
আমার বেটা সব বয়সী এসেছি কেন মার এটা বালা প্লেয়ার আইনে স্টার্টিং হে বচ্চো আরিয়ান হ্যালো হ্যালো
Be careful. Don't get stuck in your own mind.
যে কমো
আরিয়ান আরে এটা হয়ে
Teams are dropping. Let's see where they land. Head there.
আরিয়ান আরিয়ান
তাই নাবেন
Heads up! Enemy dropping close.
সব ডে ডিসকর্ড নামাবি
দুনিয়াটা
সব ডে
ঠান্ডা কিছু দুনিয়া
দেখ মেজাজটা গরম হয়
ওর একটা গ্লিচ হয়ে গেছে
কি আমি পিছিতে বালাই
Quarter takedown. Your team's absolutely
পিসি
on
দে এলাও
fire.
মনে
আমরা টিমের মাঝে এখন দুইটা।
Resources here.
ফুল দেখ নলার কারণে নলা হবাইছি
Thanks.
ওই রাত 71 রাত ভাই বসছে ওই নলার বাচ্চা ইরা স্নাইপার দে ওই নলা বুঝলাম
তার লগে মাথা যাই না রে।
Hitless mission accepted. Wow. Full teams back in
মিশন
action.
অ্যাকসেপ্টেড ততন 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 এরা और मार बाप पास लगा भाई भाई
ওই তাকে একটা না
Help me. Thanks. Monstrous. Team elimination streak is smoking hot.
That PC there zero is aquí.
Very annoying terus saya Pak.
Double kill. Triple kill. Quadra kill.
Mau gitu berbondong.
কিছু বলবো কমিউনিকেশন ছাড়া খেলা যায় না কোনো প্লেয়ার একটারও ডিসকর্ড নাই সবাই ডিসকর্ড হ্যাকার ওয়েট ও না ওই যে এনিমি প্লেয়ারের লোকেশনটা কেমনে কমু এই লোকেশনটা প্লেয়ারটার মার বলো সাইডটা দেখা যায় তো ওই সাকিন ভাইয়ের অনেক হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে নাই মর ঈশা মর কেডা ঈশা মর ঈশা বাবি হবে ওই ডিভিজের টিম মেন্টাম
Help me!
Kaka.
Thanks.
Dominating.
Cara nahi.
Wow! Full teams back from the ashes.
Caras.
Unstoppable.
वो देख केमने किल ली वो मेरा মানে কি যে বলবো বলার ভাষা হারিয়ে ফেলছি
Wow! Full teams back from the ashes. Resources here.
गाड़ी लेके चला जाऊं
এটা পিসি প্লেয়ার है उसमें चला
सबसे मार
Thanks.
Rampage.
হ্যাকার ভাইয়ের আগমন শুভেচ্ছায় স্বাগত হ্যাকার ভাইয়েরই মেরে দিছি হেডশট ওখানে হ্যাকার ভাইয়া তোমার আম্মুর সামনে খাওয়ানো
Resources here. Resources here. Resources here.
হ্যাকার ভাইয়ের আগমন শুভেচ্ছায় স্বাগত তালহাই কই রে তালহা সসরে লাইবে ओए ऊपर
ड्रॉप लूट ले स्नाइपर पे
उठे हो रहा देखो 71
डबल आते
राहत भाई की रियल ना फेक था बुझो ऐसा आई ड्रॉप
Capturing the defense airdrop.
सबसे सुना मैक ना नहीं देखला
Flaming glory awaits. Who's gonna bring home the trophy?
से तो ये नहीं देख सिलाम डब्लम आसिंग
Head there.
स्किल ब्लॉकर ভরে দেওয়া হয়েছে ইতিমধ্যে
M590 এখন আর কিছু নেই
তা শান্ত ভাই কি জয় বাংলা
লং পেন মেরে যাইতাম কিনি
Head there.
আরে আরিয়ান ওয়াল ফাটাইয়া লঞ্চের মেরে যা রিভিভ দিতে পারবে লঞ্চের দে উপরে তুললে যা ওয়ালটা ফাটা अरे उगंडा लंचर आरो ऊपर तुल
Resources here.
ये वाला डबल स्नाइपर वो लूट बॉक्स तो डबल स्नाइपर
Thanks. Wow. Full teams back
अबे
from the
रिवेट
ashes.
देखा रिवेट दे
तू भी हाथे निले या मुंह में डिस्प्यूट मनी मानस था
ना दे खाल कल्ला हम बुया करमो रामैया पर फाइट लोइस
प्यारा
बम मारे तो बम मार दुइजा
Wow. Full teams back from the
কেমন না
ashes.
লাগে আইসার বাচ্চা দিকে
Help me!
তারেও নামাই দে, নাহিদরেও নামাই দে।
Help me!
আরে রিভিউ দিস না, তুই হয়ে গেলি কি?
নাহিদ মনে
বলা বলা
আরিয়ানের না, নাহিদের না, ফুল স্কোয়াড আছে।
ব্যবস্থা খারাপ করে দিবেন ডিসকর্ড নাই
আমার
কিছু নাই
উপরে
আমি
নামছে।
তো কে রে বুঝলাম না
আরে বড় ভাই খাবার
ডিসকর্ড কেন নাই আপনি আমগুলো খেলে আমি ডিসকর্ড নাই গেছি ইয়া অ্যাজহোল পুরো আমি
উপরে আস না, 2 তলা তাই মারে
ও দেখ।
দিছি।
Killing spree.
One team's gone. Looks like their flames snuffed out.
আমি খেলি নলা গলা
আমার বোন শেষ এটাই তারা মারতে মারতে
সব দিয়ে এমন হয়ে গেছে হোয়াট দা ফাক হোয়াট
এরা
দা
ড্যামেজ দিতে
ফাক
আমার বোম শেষ হয়ে গেছে
সামনে নিয়েও দেও দে।
ও মাই গড
Help me!
ওয়াল মার আরে কই ওয়াল মারে
কর দে
Thanks.
দৌড় দৌড় দৌড়বে।
One team's gone. Looks like their flames snuffed out.
আমার তো ছয়
আমরা মারলো কইতে কি আমার এর তাও ভিতরে।
Wipeout.
Blazing showdown. The final champions bout to be crowned.
Team wipeout.
বুম 10 কিলো বুয়া
পুরাটা ম্যাচ তো একটা ইনফিনিটি চালাইছি
Your mindscape is mine to reshape.
नहीं है मुझसे कोई गान मान जगह बोल लुची ये बोलने बोल
Be careful. Don't get stuck in your own mind.
मैं तो जब बैक सॉरी के আবির আমার সন্তান
Teams are roughing. Let's see where they land. Head there.
আবির বল কি যে বলবো নলাপিটা আমি কোন কথা করতে পারতাছি না তো আমি কি করব
এই হ্যাকার পড়তে ঠিক ওখানে নামাই দিয়ে দেবো তাই
গেম মাইক নাই ভাই আমার গেমের মাইক
পিকো নামে না, সকালেও
Enemy's
ফুটবল
dropping close.
ওয়াট আপ ফোনে যায়
পিকো নাই না লাস্ট পর্যন্ত। এবার লাস্ট জন
কোনটা খেলে ভালো হয় গাইস একটু সাজেশন দাও বাইরে
মাঙ্গার বলা কি মাই
ওর মার বাবা আমার গেম খেলাইতে উইনচেস্টার নিউ গান বরফুর গ্লিচ আরে বলো দাইসার বাচ্চা মার নলা
Help me! Thanks.
এই আরিয়ান স্নাইপার নিচে নি
Resources here.
Oh, oh.
পিকের ভিতরে ভিতরে আরো প্লেয়ার আছে
Thanks.
তাড়াতাড়ি আয়।
VSK. VSK.
কাপিসি প্লেয়ার গালি মারিস না
তারপর আমরা স্কোয়াডার প্লেয়ার বটলার হইছে
Dil. Oh, just
ভিতরে রিসাল ডোর
নিবা লগে তাকে রে ভাই আমি নিমিয়ে খুব করি
Aisha, mata kurti sore.
কথাটা তুই গালি না মাইরো হইতে পারছিস ও মা
Thanks.
Dur.
ও মাই গড
Help me!
ওই আমার দে দে তোর বাচ্চা
Wow. Team's back in the action.
আরিয়ান না
What to take now? Your team's
Gutti kill দেখা ভাই বুঝলাম থার্ড পার্টি ফোর্থ পার্টি সিক্স পার্টি সেভেন্থ পার্টি সব পার্টি আমরাই খেলি ও ডেঞ্জার জোন ফালা দিছে এলে কিন্তু
গপ গপ
আল্লাহ কইরা খালি না থাকলে চলে
এনিমি দেখাইবো কি তার ডেঞ্জার জোন করছি কেন আল্লাহ
বম্বলা
বটলা
হান্টার গুলা
নাহিদ ভাই আপনারে আমি দিছি আপনি আমারে দিবেন
Help me!
তোরে গিটা দিব
রিভেট দিব রে আমারে আর তোরে আর ইয়ান্ডে দিত না সিঙ্গালি নাসর
আমার চেয়ারের
আরে মারছে
কাউচটা নষ্ট
আর ইয়ান্ডে আরে মারছে ভুলি গেছে হ্যাঁ দেখো
ডিলে অফ করে তোমার কালকে লাইভ থেকে ডিলে অফ
কয়টা কিলো ছেড়ে পিকো গিয়া না রে তার বাড়ি ঢাকা শাহবাগ শাহবাগি
চাওয়ানি
তার বাড়ি ঢাকা শাহবাগ শাহবাগ
আপনি শাহবাগি না
ভাই আমার লাগবে
হ্যালো
এ আজকে তার জিকে মনে বুঝছে নি কল দিয়া
এটা বলো আমার দিয়া যায় ওই মত ঠিক দিল লা
এই ম্যাচ পরে আরেকের ম্যাচ শুরু হয়ে যাব
আরে কেটে লাগা রে আরে কে জায়গা তামানে নি তো
আরে কের জায়গাত না কইতে যে আরএস কে স্কোয়াডের জায়গাত আমরা স্কোয়াড
কি ঠিক কাজ হইতো
Hitless mission accepted.
তোমার সে একলা পায় তুই দিব
বন্ধু 200 টোকেন দে 200-300 টোকেন দে
ভাই আপনার একটু কাছে আছে ভাই দৌড় 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 এই যে এই নলারের পর চাপা
Head there. Help me! Enemy spotted.
Jadi kalau mana sama ada di musik.
kalau nolar
Di sana aja nih.
Capturing the revival point.
আসলে সব ডে ডিসকর্ড লগইন কর
Both teams back from the ashes.
দুইটা লগইন আমি
Need equipment.
ওই নাবেল ওই যে তাওহিদ ভাই সাকিন
Feel
ভাই
the heat. The arena's getting crazy.
Amar Indonesia bangkit lagi. Ini bahaya.
মেইন সারা কবুতর
Flaming glory awaits. Who's gonna bring home the trophy?
কি রে হালা কি বাইক লই anda
তোরা আমার সামনে রে ভাই এনিমি পড়া মনটা হ্যাকার মনে হয় ওর দিয়ে কিলা মারে রোদ দিয়ে
Study for items.
Oh my god.
that's সোনার ক্যারেক্টার লয়
রিলিজ দেন জানি না বেটা সুজে হেডশট মারি দিছে স্নাইপার দিয়া টুকেন এক লগে করছ না নাহিদ বেরি টুকেন দে নাহিদ বেরি টুকেন দে আরে এই যে টুকেন দে আরিয়ান আমি আরিয়ান টুকেন দে আরিয়ান যা কাউন্ট করতে না যা আরে একটা টুকেন দে রে আরে একটা দে। আরিয়ান নাহিদ বেরি 200 টুকেন দে তাড়াতাড়ি যা এ 300 লাগে তার হাজারও লাগবে
Oh my god!
বহুত
Help me! Wow, full team's back in action.
So high! You're so high! You're so high! You're so high!
Double kill.
আরিয়ান টুকেন দে আরিয়ান টুকেন দে ভাই এ আরিয়ান তুইলো তুই সব টুকেন লইলা হেদে লাইছে আমার নাম মাথার পরে টুকেন আছে না 300 টাকা খাচ্ছি তুই 300 পয়সা লাইছো আরে তোর 300 টুকেন লিয়া না মাছ না বটলা ইকানো নো খালাইবে আমার নাম আইবে
Monstrous! Team
ইকানো
elimination
300
streak
খালাইলে
is
উগান্ডা
smoking
দেওয়াল
hot.
ফাটাইয়া দে এনিমি বক্স যা এই দিকারে মারতো দিকার লুট বক্স যা না দেখতে পাইবা এনিমি দিকারে মারতো সামনে ওটা লুট বক্স যা ওয়ালের পিছে কি লুট বক্স না রে বন্ড পিছের লুট বক্স লাগা আমার নাম আমি নাই মা 300 টাকা মতো দিল তুই আরি এটা ওই নাম আইবি তাড়াতাড়ি নাম কোনটা নেব
Need money for items.
আরিয়ানোর বাচ্চা কিটা লইছো মাতারি হেয়ার সাইকেল লগে মিলে এখন নিবে চাইলি না
হারিয়ানা এমন লাগবো নি তাড়াতাড়ি আর
তারে কুত্তা
Help me!
এমন কেন হইছে এমন শুনি কেন বলছি তাড়াতাড়ি যে এমন লইয়া যা বারে যাইছ না রে সামনের বাড়িতে একটা
I need blue wall. Still on cooldown.
Blazing showdown! The final champion's about to be crowned.
তোরা খেলতে নাই নি আর
স্ক্রিন শেয়ার দেন হ্যালো 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 তাওহিদ ভাই, হ্যালো তাওহিদ ভাই।
Yes, yes, Bob.
এই গো গো। ও তারা খেলবি? তাওহিদ ভাই আইন।
দাঁড়ান।
আয় ডিসকর্ড আয়, না বিলো ডিসকর্ড আয়, বিলো ডিসকর্ড আয়।
এইটাতে কি গেম খেলা যায় না?
কি কি?
এটাতে গেম খেলা যায় না? গেম
যাইবো যাইবো, গেম খেলাও যাইবো।
তো হয় না দেখি।
কি হয় না? আগে গেমে ঢোকার চেষ্টা করেন।
দাঁড়ান।
আহেন আহেন। হ্যাঁ কেরছে?
এই জায়গায় ফ্রি ফায়ার রুলস
তো
মানতে
ফ্রি
হবে।
ফায়ার ভিসি থাকলে কিছে, এনে থাকলে সমস্যা কি?
এই জায়গায় তো আমরা গেম খেলতেছি না, গেম খেলার সময় ওই ভিসিটা বানাইছি ক্ষেত্রে তাহলে
তাহলে আয় আয় ওই ভিসিটা। ও
ফ্রি ফায়ার নিচে ভিসি আছে। সবাই আসেন, সবাই আসেন। ওর মুভ দিয়ে আনতে হইবনি সবচেয়ে। এটা কেডা আইছে?
বাইরে ডাক দিয়ান, তাওহিদ বাইরে টান দে।
আচ্ছা আমি টান দিতেছি। কই গেল হে, কই গেল? আইছে? কই
ডিসকানেক্ট
গেল?
করছে মনে হয়।
এদিকে কোনো বিসি দেয় নাই, রান কিভাবে?
নলাই গেল কইরে। নলা, হ্যাঁ নলা। তাওহিদ ভাই
তাহলে পরে তাও করছো না? বিসি দে বইলো তো আমি মুভ দিয়ে আনতে পারি এটা। এক্সডি কি লাগছি? এ সবাই রোল দেওয়া
নাবিল।
আছে না? এক্সডি স্কোয়াড রোল দেওয়া আছে না?
হ্যাঁ নলাই করি। স্টার্ট দেবো
কি বিয়ার?
নাবিল?
না একটা কাস্টম বানান, কাস্টম গেলাম। বিয়ার খেলাম না, বিয়ার খেলতে পারলাম না।
তো বানা। রাফিজ
বানান
সালমান
নাবিল
বানান।
ভাই। আমি আর নাবিল ভাই, আপনি আর বানান দাও। নাইট ভাই।
হুম ওরা তো গেমে বুঝতে বারমুডায় ঢুকলো 1 মিনিট আগে। নাবিল বাইরে যা, নাবিল বাইরে যা। ডাবল সাউন্ড আয়, নাবিল বাইরে যা।
নাবিল
ও
ভাই
দিহি
একজন থাকো।
ও যাইছে
এ
না
তাহলে
লাগবে।
তুই একটা বিসিতে বললো তো আমি টান দিয়ে আনতে পারতাম। তুই একটা অন্য বিসিতে চাই পারিস।
নাবিল তুই বাইরে ডাবল সাউন্ড আয়।
নাবিল ভাই বাইরে যাও।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে।
এখন ঠিক আছে, তোমরা যেন একসাথে বসো তাহলে।
গগ 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 গগ।
আচ্ছা লাইভ স্ট্রিমে ডিলেটা একটু ছড়ান। ডিলে আছে 2 মিনিট বা তিন
দিলে
মিনিটের
ছোড়াই
মতো।
কেমনে জানি না তো।
এবারে লাইভ স্ট্রিম করে আল্লাহ।
দিলে এখন ছোড়ান যাইব না তো, একদম লাইভ শেষ করে ছোড়ে তুই।
হ হ হ ভাড়া
এখন
বোকা
লাইভ
চোদ।
শেষ করবো কেন? কালকে তো কইরা লমু ওই
আরে লাইভে
টুর্নামেন্টের।
স্ট্রিমিং করে কয়দিন পর পর দেখি ডিলে দিয়ে দেয় টুর্নামেন্টের সময়। ও ডিলে ছুটালে টুর্নামেন্টে করে।
হ্যাঁ ওই টুর্নামেন্টের সময় ডিলে দিয়ে দেবো আর এমনি ডিলে সরা দেবো।
রুম বানাইছে আর না বেশি করতে পারেন। রিভাইভ আছে, সব আছে, স্নাইপার আছে।
এই ফাইবার দিছে আবে দিছে।
দাঁড়ান দাঁড়ান দাঁড়ান, ওইটা স্টার্ট দেন,
চালা তুই চালা।
স্টার্ট। এ নাইট ভাই, নাবিল ভাই আর আমি শিন। নাইট ভাই স্নাইপার নিছেন?
না 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 আয় আসলে নাবিলের পাশটা
দুইটা স্নাইপার এক লগে থাকলে মনে ঘুমিয়া।
কেমন হয়ে যা।
এই তো
স্টার্ট
স্নাইপার
দে।
স্নাইপার হবে। দেখো নাইট ভাই তুমি কত পারা আহো, দেখো
নলার বাচ্চা
আও নালা।
আর নলা জিগা নাবিলে সকালে কি মাইর দি দিছে ওই স্কোয়াড।
হুম
আমি তো ফার্স্ট
Shall
অ্যাকাউন্ট
we
কে
give
নেই
them a
বুঝছ নাই।
sweet dream
আমি
or
কিলে
a
গেছে নিয়ে দিন
nightmare?
খেললাম না। আমি
Young
আমি
Tuxedo
দেখলাম
knows
গেমটা
how to
পজিশন
get
গুলো
things
নেই,
done.
ওই নেই দিয়ে আমার সামনে আইফোন
কথা
কিলে
কইতা
গেছে।
ভাই ক্যামেরা লচ্ছাস আবিরা তুই
নাবিল
গু খা আমার।
নাই নাই কোনো
আবে তোর যদি অক্ষণে প্যানেল লাগে মারতা দেই।
কেটে দিছি।
নেট নাইগা পোলার
ও এ দেখছিলাম মাথাটা ওই
First blood.
অঞ্জল আমি লই তো কাবা লাগবো, আমি নামতে লাইলে আর নামটা বাইরো নামটা আমার কাবারে দেখবো না কোন ইয়া ভিতরে।
হুম তোর মতন নলার কভারে থাকবো। নাবিলে শর্ট টিম মেলা মিস
পিসি ভার্সেস কোন স্নাইপার, দেখা যাক কি হয়। কোন জায়গা নাবিল ভাই?
আমি আছি একজনের মনে।
ভালোর মনে ওয়ালও নাই দিন সামান্য।
আবার একটা কথা জানো,
কি?
তোর যে টোগায়া পাইছিল
না তোমার জানো
Double kill.
নলা
নেট গেছে গেলে আর রেড করলাম।
আর নলা
Even the
Hasta no la hago.
sweetest of dreams have sharp teeth.
শুধু নলা এটা কি তোর দাম আমি বাড়ির উপরে খাই দিই।
তোমার মতো
বাড়ির উপরে গেলে একটু কভারে গেছে গেলে বেঁচে গেছে।
আমি সবাই জানো তোমার ওপেনে খারাপ নরম
ছে, আজকে বুঝছো সাবির বিফোর এক্স আছে না ওটির লগে যে তুই মাই যে খাইলি ওগতে ওরা আজকে 3 না খেলছে বেস্ট অফ 3 না পাইরা হায়ার করে প্লে লই।
ও মুদ্রা রে
মাইর খায় ও হয় নুবরা কয় আমারে কতি কেমনটা লাগে।
না না আমি
তুই একটা লাগাইতে লাগাইতে আমি 4টা মারা পারুম জানো।
এ তুমি পিসি প্লে তুমি
Even
পারবা
the sweetest of dreams have sharp
কেন
teeth.
কইলাম তুই একটা লাগাইতে লাগাইতে আমি 4টা লাগাইতে পারুম।
এত ফাইন রে তাহলে মোবাইলে আসুন।
আমি লাইভ করতেছি, আমি চাইলেও মোবাইলে আসতে পারবো না। কালকে রাত্রে কটা পর্যন্ত ছিলি আবির?
কালকে রাত কয়টা পর্যন্ত?
তোর তো প্রিয় আবির নাইগা
তোমার ভাল লাগাই দেই বা
ও খাইছে নলা
Skill on
তোরে
cooldown.
একশট মারি
Double
কি
kill.
রে ভাই এ তো
তোরা তো মার্কেট
কিছু তো রাখবো
Thanks.
তেমন খাওয়া নেই
Even the sweetest of dreams have sharp teeth.
ফাইনালের স্লট কিনে আবির ওরা 230 টাকা দিয়ে।
কেরা
কয়টার ফাইনাল? ওই যে শান্ত ভাই T1 লাভ হইতে বলে লিগ কাস্টমার স্লট কিনে ফাইনালের।
কয় হাজার টাকা
জানি না কইতাস।
কিনো বিসি দেখেন বললেন বিসি তো অনেক সুইস কমিটা নেই অনেক বেশি সুইস অনেক
30 টাকা করে।
আমাদের হিসাব আপনি দিয়ে দেন আমি
কি
রবিবারে
আমি
দিব
দিব? আমি খেলি
Skill on
আমি
cooldown.
রবিবারে দিন বিকাশ আপনার কি ভাই একটা রসুককে দেই না ওই এটা তো তাই তো
First
শোনাই গেলে।
blood.
কে আবির তুই বলে আমার প্লেয়ারের উপরে স্কালার মারাও।
ভাই কোন দে কোন জানি জানাম না হ্যালো
নলার বাচ্চা তুই কো
Double
আর
kill.
নলা আমি কি খেলবো? আমার টিম এন্ট্রি পারস না তোরা।
টিমমেট নাবিল ভাই আমার কাপড়ে থাও একটু আমার কাপড়ে থাক দেখে ওকে
আমি তোরা
Even
একলা
the
বেরা
sweetest
দিয়েছি।
of dreams have sharp teeth.
আবির
Resources here.
আবির
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
তুই ভাই গু খা মইরা যা ভাই। আবির ভাই তুই গু খা মইরা যা। তোর বাঁচার কোনো অধিকার নেই।
তো আমি তো একটা মারছি ও তো মারতে পারতো না
তুই কারে মারছ?
এ ধনে মরে গা বারা আমার সামনে দুইটা
পিছন দা ঘুরে লাভ নাই না আবির। তোমার পানির শব্দ শুনতে পারছি আমরা। ও
ওই
আবির লোক
দাঁড়া দিতাছে তুই অজ্ঞ
আরে
Help
আমি
me.
করি ভাবতে
Thanks.
আরে আমির বাচ্চা 100
First blood. Double kill.
আমাকে চান্স দিলাম সে 5-0 খেয়ে যাবি এক রাউন্ড চান্স দিলাম আরে 5-0 মারমো
Even the
কেমন লাগে
sweetest
না
of dreams have
এক
sharp
রাউন্ড
teeth.
চান্স দিলাম
আচ্ছা আপনি দেখতাম
তোরা আমি চাইলে ইজি খেয়ে দিই আইরিশটা লাগাইছি তোর উপরে
আরো কত কিছু
আবার কল দিস
আমার লোকে আইবেন না
কি ফাইনালে সেমি ফাইনাল বাহ সেমি ফাইনাল স্লট কে ওই দেখ বলো দেখ গ্লিচ ফার
এটা না ব্রো
মুষ্টি মার
মার
Double kill.
ওই দাও দাও নিচে দাও
কইলাম না তারা চান্স দিছি
দাও দাও নিচে এটা কও দাও দাও নিচে
নিচে তো কিছে তোরা খেলা পারছ না তো
আরেকটা রাইটটা দিস আর স্কেল ম্যাচ শুরু হয়নি একটা দাও
আর আজকের ম্যাচ শুরু হয় নাই
Your mindscape
Nah.
is mine to reshape.
শুরু হয়ে গেছে
না না
ইন্ট্রো খাতে হবো আমরা
মানে কি কলেজ যাইতে বলছিল
কে তাইলে
Video
ওয়াচ পার্টি
call?
লাগাই তুই
ভাই যেমন উগ্রায়ন
কি
বিডি তো কোনের লগে ম্যাচ
কোন বিডি টপ 1 EXE সিয়াময়টি মানিক গেমিং মানিক গেমিং এর রাতে ম্যাচ গেছে দেখা রিয়েল না ফেক তোকে কলা ধরা দেনি আবার দেখ ও
this
ইয়াদি
weekend
দেখা
to get those points.
ও ম্যাচ শুরু হইব থাক জায়গা আবির ম্যাচ লাগাই দিয়ে উইন্ডোজ কি Oh, no, man.
ডিসকর্ডে আসি
Yes, sir. Thank you. छोड़ो मेरा आ गए थे knockout stage
for some of these teams, getting constantly either hot drop or contested in those moments. BRU in particular has been notably jumped on so many times. But let's look at the full team lineups here in case you want to see the faces of the people who are trying to make it to that grand finals. Falcons, another team that I am a little concerned about, but that's the thing. During these two play days, teams like GOW, Team Solid, RHK, and as well as Falcons, they're looking to secure top 12, not necessarily be number one, because that doesn't give you any advantages coming into the global finals.
Yeah, it doesn't really give you an advantage, but I guess from a confidence standpoint, you'd be feeling really good if you do well during the group stage. So I'm not mad. I don't think the teams are mad if they do accidentally perform well or they just place very high. But I think for anyone that is worried about Falcons and Buriram, okay, because Buriram is also not looking too hot. They're in, I think, 10th place. Both these teams are at 10th and 11th place, so quite far down from where we're used to seeing these teams. But I think from a tactical standpoint, I believe this might be intentional. I think these guys are trying to keep their cards close and to take these targets off their back so that when we do go to grand final weekend, that's when they bring out the real big guns. So we'll see how everyone sort of reacts to some of these big guns not performing so well in that group stage, because I want to see if they continue to respect them or maybe their attention slips and they focus on a few other teams.
I mean, Thailand in general, as of right now, the only one who's doing significantly well in their current standings, I would say, at this point, it's really All Gamers Global, right? Because these guys, they've been having a level of consistency, nothing too super outstanding, but good enough to make sure that they're in at least 7th place within the top 8 to qualify for Clash Squad. And now that they've kind of done what they need to do, I think they can start taking their time and really just maintain their points, because teams like Heavy, for an example, who's also been doing well. Vietnam, as a region, has been doing absolutely disgusting here at the global finals, with the only exception of WAG, who's had a little bit of a slower start. But that's not the only storyline that I want to talk about here. We saw at the very beginning, Fluxo, again, they have a particularly impressive resume, but their competitors in R7, who's built confidence over the year, coming off of EWC, coming off of the Survivor Series as well, making sure that they can win against teams like Fluxo, coming into the global finals. I feel that there is a legitimate argument here for R7 to maybe try and take them over, but when push comes to shove, they first have to prove themselves during the grand finals to make that happen.
I wonder if this is the best weekend to experiment and actually play hyper aggressive against Fluxo for Movie Stars, right? Like maybe intentionally go for hot drops and just get a feel of how you do if you do manage to pull up these hot drops against such a team such as Fluxo. Like, I don't think Fluxo, I think a realistic point of view is Fluxo is expecting nobody to hot drop them. They are probably feeling at the top of the world. They're probably thinking that a lot of the competition is staring down at them. But I don't think in their point of view, they would be expecting a potential hot drop from a team. But if Movie Stars pulls this off, I think they might be able to pull off some really cheeky plays, build up their own confidence, and maybe even shake Fluxo themselves. And we do have our own ranking prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Now, do not take us as complete experts because we do get things wrong. But Gideon, we kind of share the same opinion with our top 2 picks.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it just comes through the ways that they played during Clash Squad, right? Because if you are going to hot drop someone, you're basically playing Clash Squad for the time being, unless somebody starts to throw out their scouts out of the way. And then our third place, I think we both had the same ideas. It's like, all right, everybody's going to be looking at those top spots. Some have a little bit of inconsistency, but the ones who need to perform today and we're expecting who have the firepower and proven before, it was between BRU and Team Falcons. I don't see anybody else in that position unless Group B gets involved.
Okay, so we actually have a Room of Pressure interview lined up for you folks. So it looks like the teams, they are getting ready. But before we jump into the game, let's head on over to the Room of Pressure and see how our players are feeling before we kick things off with game number 1.
Every wish has weight. Some lift you. Some crush you.
Me perdí mi graduación para estar aquí. Ahora mis amigos me firmaron esta camiseta y lo llevo en cada partida.
Voltamos pro stage, agora não estou sozinho, estou com todo mundo que confia na gente.
Họ nói rằng khu vực Việt Nam chỉ là lót đường, rằng SEA đã hết thời, nhưng chúng tôi vẫn ở đây và bước tiếp.
The louder the world believes, the heavier the silence feels before the fight. Every wish they carry, it pushes, it lifts. Pressure isn't what they fear, it's what keeps them fighting. They carry the weight of wishes, not as burden, but as fire.
Well, there we have it, man. Again, big stakes available, and more so, there's a reason why this was highlighted as the Room of Pressure, because again, as we stated at the beginning of the day, dreams can be built, but there's a very good chance they can be shattered at the same time. It's a scary thought because even when you are coming in, you have the hopes and expectations of people, not only from our survivors from across the world, but people closest to our players, to these predators who are looking to score as many points as they can.
I'm so glad that we're still seeing teams have high spirits. You know, they're still happy, they're excited, they're raring to go, rather than teams just sort of sitting there all stiff, nervous, maybe racking their brains thinking what they're supposed to do during those first couple minutes of the game. I do think there must be a lot, though, going through the teams and their coaches, trying to decide, okay, how do we approach game number 1? Because I think one of the worst things you can do in such a high-stakes situation, especially for teams that are at risk of either falling out of top 12 or breaking in, is playing standard. I think we're past that point of where playing safe is going to keep you either in your spot or push you higher. I think now is the time for you to really do something different. You need to surprise. You have to step out of that box, because if you don't, you fall into that very stock standard play, and someone's going to come around the corner, clean up your team, and you're probably going to end up in 12th, 11th place during a round, which you do not want to do, especially if you are at a high-risk position.
I think Vietnam as a region really, I feel like they're going to be the ones who are going to be a little bit more consistent here. And that's a funny statement to say, because at the very beginning of the year, we were thinking that, like, you know, Thailand is still going to be on top, that they are going to be dominating throughout the year with a couple of pretty big changes when it comes down to the patch. I wouldn't have expected them to drop off this hard after EWC, because those were the two regions we were looking for. We were looking at Indonesia and as well as Thailand, right, to be the top spot. But I think it's time It's a time to live, a time to die. The place right in between. We're going to be going and checking out our drop zones here. The flight path for Purgatory as a very first map of the day to kick things off for day 3 here at Battle Royale, the Free Fire World Series Global Finals. Good luck to all of our teams. Hats off and salutes. Now, it's about the pressure, and more importantly, it's about winning.
It's about winning and keeping your composure. Do not panic. It is game number 1. We are just getting started. You know, Gideon, I do have to sort of mention, you brought up a point earlier on saying that, you know, the first 3 maps are not so bad, right? The final 3 are definitely where things start to get a little bit weird, a little bit quirky. But I think Purgatory can be one of those dirty maps as well, depending on where the circle decides to end the match, right? And this one looks like it's going to be a filthy one because we have a huge line of river going down, almost down the center of that circle. If it continues to pivot down towards the bottom of that map, and we might even go through that cross section, teams are going to be in a lot of trouble if they are in the wrong position.
And I mean, that flight path was not helpful whatsoever. E1 already finding first blood. Vivid 9 already taking it off of R7. Hacks goes down. It's a little unfortunate for R7 because, again, they know what their drop spots are supposed to be, but the flight path has severely hurt them in who lands first. But they are not the only teams who are getting into these early engagements. On the north side of the ring, we're already seeing WAG and his Red Hawks fight against each other. Neja, he already has the HP advantage and takes out Tikoi, no problem. Oh, the car! Just to roll him over. Guess who's coming into the middle of the mix is more reinforcements of WAG getting involved into the fight. Keep in mind that E1 is creeping up behind him on the southern side. The longer this fight goes, the third is so very possible. And Red Hawks, they recognize this and they back away as E1 takes the engagement against WAG. As the backline tries to run away, Red Hawks are on the chase.
Kind of insane to think that we have 3 teams within firing range of each other. Red Hawks still trying to apply pressure onto WAG, but E1, I'm actually surprised. I thought E1 would try and fight into that, but I guess after yesterday's games in Clash Squad, they are going to continue on with this trend of theirs, where they do like to play a little bit slower and focus more on their macro game. But Red Hawks, yeah, I don't think they're going to be given the option of playing slowly because WAG, they want blood, and in particular, they want Blade.
They want as many as they possibly can, especially in the earlier stages of the game. If they can weather the stone. Oh, no, I don't. Wait, are they going to be coming over? We don't know for sure because Kutosh is the next to fall here for WAG as they're looking to try and wipe this squad, and it's a high number of eliminations for WAG right at the beginning. 5 in the bag, E1, and they've already been able to set up kind of their post-game fight, right? They're making sure that E1 can't move out of position just yet, as PLS1 needs to make sure that the movements are away from them rather than looking for the wraparound on the flank. Because keep in mind, they still have the circles on the southern side.
Yep. So just a quick update on what did potentially happen on the other side of the map. I saw some Buriram names actually flashing on the screen, and it was GOW that was challenging them. We'll have to see if the team is going to be looking okay. But for Falcons, Kororo is not going to be looking too happy himself because he has an entire team of Heavy chasing him down. He does have a teammate nearby, but I don't think they're in a position to be able to bail this man out. So Kororo, he will fall on fire playing on top of the mountain. I mean, he's sticking around. I have to say, on fire, the fact that you decided to stay here, very, very ballsy play. But if you want to try and go for the bait, you know, sometimes you just got to pull out the crazy play. So on fire, can he fire them down? Goes for the dash, goes onto the other side. Can't quite catch anyone, move faster, able to get the jukes off, and nobody drops aside from on fire. So Heavy, lock in 2 points.
Nicely done by Heavy. And this is the playstyle that we're seeing them try to perfect over the local scene during FFWSC. And they've really nailed it down on their first engagements. Falcons, they had to play for survival, right? On Fire needs to buy as much time so that everybody else can actually look for looting spots outside from Fire Brigade. I'm not entirely sure whether they split off into Central and as well as Lumber Mill, because we did see a majority of the fights actually happening towards Central and as well as arguably just the edge of Brasilia. But now we look towards the northern side, towards the crossroads. E1 as well as R7, they haven't let it go just yet. R7 in particular, as they already find one in Vitten XP. They need to take out both the Vitten brothers before they have a chance here. Vitten, he can be picked up, but it's going to be a very difficult fight if they're going to play from that low ground. Games King holding well. Joker with a good headshot to kind of secure the position, allowing Games King to jump on in. Oh no! 1 HP, still alive. Leon still makes it through. Now, while this is happening, BRU are currently in engagement with WAG. As the ring continues to circle down, they've already used the Riptide Rhythm, trying to close the doors here. Time turners for both Chronos have been used. Della very close to winning this fight. I think he needs to start pushing forward, but he's worried about his back as Joker loses his head. Without being done for, GOW intervening in this fight. R7, they just gotta back out of this, and they have to do it from the outside in the blue.
I don't think they're going to be able to go away though, because for GOW, they look like they want to be hunting down their AG though. This team is going to be hunted on the other side of the map. And poor Barosh, a 2v1 versus Hacker Nix, not a chance to leave this fight. And AG, they need Dude to get on out of there. Is he the final player for the team? Because we did see multiple players being eliminated. I mean, they're tracking him, so poor Dude, if he's able to get out of here, it would be a miracle in itself. And it looks like Boyram, we are finally able to catch out to the team. They are still 4-man strong, but this time it's going to be Tikui going up against Wasana. So Boyram, they're still kicking. They've actually picked up 4 points this round. So even though things did look a little bit scary for the team earlier on, it looks like they have stabilized and they have points on the board. Now, speaking of points, Gideon, we do have updates on the right-hand side of the screen. These are live updates as well and live placements for the round. And, you know, Boyram, they were quiet last week, but they're coming and kicking strong in game number 1 today.
They avoided the early engagements. They wanted to see. They saw everything that was happening on the north side of the crossroads, and WAG seemed to be the clear victors of it with 7 eliminations. Unfortunately, getting intercepted midway, especially when we're thinking about the Arsenals as well, which is what WAG probably was going to be looking for here. Same goes for movie star R7, but look above them. GOW seems to be flying above and landing right behind them as well. They are on the hunt, on fire as well. Oh no, hold on. GOW Hans getting into the mix, making sure that they can at least intercept some of the members here from movie star R7. Everybody on the north side is taking significant damage as they walk out of the blue with their full squad or having to revive multiple members already.
Yeah, but aside from that one pickoff, look at the respect given by all of our teams so far. Everyone has kept their rosters alive or they've brought their teammates back. 4 players alive for every team remaining in the competition. I mean, it just goes to show how desperate everybody needs these points. And also the fact that we are having so many players being picked up, these are more points for the round. This is going to be a very bloated round when it comes to elimination points. And Demon almost catching Moshi out there. Would have been nice if he got the drop, because at least he would have been able to create an opening for the rest of his teammates to follow through. But now they're just waiting to see, does Boyram do anything? Because if they don't move, it's going to have to be GOW to push on in if they want to get inside the safe zone. Now, on the other end, we do have Heavy fighting up against Falcons. And so far, Falcons coming from the outside. And Heavy, they're still holding down the fort. But so far, we're going to be seeing somebody go in for that backstab. Kororo going to be going in that building. Don't cry. Trying to fight the team inside the compound, but all on his own. Everyone's abandoned. Mufasa comes in after he gets down. It's 1 versus 3. Mufasa, the numbers are not in your favor.
Round 2 goes over to Falcons after getting an early drop against Heavy. They got the revenge here. Heavy still losing 1 member, not the biggest a deal. They're like, okay, fair enough. You know, karma sucks, but what are we going to do about it? Here by Golf Course, we see that Fluxo moving towards that northern side, expecting a lot of the members, at least a lot of the population who are fighting up there, would eventually start making their way around. Here in the second ring, it's encapsulating Marblework, Golf Course, and as well as Brasilia, with the river cutting them in half. So, clearing the northern side and making sure that their backs are clear, which Fluxo has already checked those 2 boxes. Now, if they take out R7, they've got the perfect recipe and a 50-50 that could give them a booyah win. But now we look over to BRU versus the Red Hawks.
Yeah, we do have Wasana scouting the way for the team, trying to clear out all these buildings just to make sure that they've managed to pin them. Oh, the 1-shot onto Blade! Wasn't even given a chance to be able to be picked up. And now Wasana pushing through for the team. They as well. We still have Blade and Neja. In one corner. They do manage to get both to the cat and in the air. Nejad, he gets shot out of the sky, but the team is not out as of yet. We still have Flicker trying to get away, but he gets sniped. And that's going to be it. The Red Hawks end the round in 11th place.
Oh, Buriram United are hungry today. They are intercepting any team to ensure, and they are double checking the crossroads just in case, knowing that the population who dropped there, they didn't see enough action down by the northern side of the fields to guarantee that their backs were going to be clear. So good job on BRU to do their due diligence. But now we see the teams who are currently in the ring. And this is where it gets a little awkward, right? For GOW, they're holding the northernmost, and they're right at the tip of the river, which is a scary position to be in, right? Because you're expecting teams to be watching this bridge specifically because it's one of the few easy crossroads without having to swim across if the 50-50 doesn't go into your favor. And it looks like the 50-50 leans more towards Brasilia. GOW have an easy rotation in if they can win their next engagement. Fluxo, on the other hand, I'm interested to see how they're going to start moving on. They can play towards the sand base of their current island on the west side of the map, but they did engage and encounter Movistar R7. It looks like Movistar R7 still, let me just quickly double check, at full fighting capacity. I'm not sure if their weaponry is going to be as good as Fluxo, and not to mention that BRU, if I look at that at the top corner there, has already made their way from the north side of Marbleworks too.
Hang on, we might even get Buriram running into Fluxo, which might be an even bigger fight than we originally anticipated. We thought it was going to be Movistar's get high, though, get shut down by GU. Wasn't even able to close the gap, and Fluxo, they're ready to shut Buriram out. They will be able to send out Jonah, and it looks like he is able to successfully cross the river into GOW. The Wolves are being fed.
Oh no, Asana left all by himself as well. The Wolves in prime position. I don't think they were expecting Buriram United to be in that spot or Fluxo to move this far up towards the north. But now, with Buriram already neutered and cut down, there's nothing much to worry about. E1 currently in the middle of a fight, as well as ESPORTS as well. And as they fight, we see the ESPORTS as 5 want to make sure that they can control just the west side of Brasilia, right? On the eastern side of the ring. They've already taken out E1, and at the very least, while we look over AG Global as well as Heavy, we look cut back to at least Fluxo versus R7, because this is the most important position for R7. They've got the low ground, unfortunately, but it's not necessarily that bad with the ring already turning into the third zone, which is going to start to hurt the members of Fluxo. It's going to cost them to stay out in the blue for this long.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if they do try to rush down the hill, there's no cover. So they would be sitting ducks as Movistar's R7 just gunned them down. So the team, they are going to group up. They will have to find a way through somehow. And I mean, if they can find a way in without being taken out by Movistars, that would be a miracle in itself. They're still trying to snipe them from a distance. You can see Fluxo, they are pinned in a really tough spot, and they're going to start sending teammates in. They fly the team in, and Movistars, they're not ready for this. I don't think they were expecting Fluxo to play so aggressively, but all of a sudden, in the compound that was supposed to be their safe place, ends up being maybe the worst place they see in this game, but the team is still standing strong. It's Fluxo to be losing players. GU goes down as well, and all of a sudden their aggressors fell into a terrible trap. Fluxo's not out of it yet, though. They still have one player remaining, but what a ballsy play coming in from the 2024 champions.
Very ballsy. And MT7, he's going to have to try and power his way on towards the southern side. He's got plenty of mid kits to do so, and it's going to take a little bit of time for R7 to actually recuperate. The hard part is that both of these teams are on the losing end of the ring. They have to cross that river. You can see that Falcons and Team Solid have noticed what was going on the opposite end, and they were looking for opportunities. That's why you saw that Movistar R7 wasn't necessarily ready to actually engage with Fluxo, because their scouts were getting shot in the back by both of these teams. Now Falcons, again, super dangerous position. It's a 50-50 between R7 and where they're going to go, and it looks like they've decided to give themselves over to Team Solid. No bueno there. And we see that at least Team Solid, they understand, hey, wait a minute, Fluxo, they're not done just yet, and more importantly, they have to clear out the Falcons if they want to control this southern side by the rock to rotate into the next ring.
But it's so hard, though, because they're all climbing up this cliff face, and there is no cover aside from a boulder that nobody has been able to occupy yet. But Falcons, they're taking critical damage. Team Solid still looking very strong, and you can see Nyx, he wants to close that gap. Falcons, they're injured. They need a moment of respite, but you can see Nyx, he's not going to give it to them. Kororo's still on the ground. He rushes forward, but does get punished for it in the meantime. attack is there, and the Falcons, they're gone. Their position compromised and given away to Team Solid.
Wow, Team Solid. I thought they were running out of resources, right? You could already see that they, as they were trying to break through with the Valiant Dash, no glue walls, right? It was an all or nothing play, and Team Solid wanted out. Now they resource themselves back up and play on the low ground of where Heavy is going to be. They can take the damage for just a little bit, but they need to minimize it as much as possible. AG are just on the opposite ends, and they cannot expose themselves to that angle. If they have to hug the walls, they will hug the walls.
I will have to say genius position there by Team Solid. As long as players did not get sniped as they flew in, they have a really great spot here on the cliff side because there's no real great angle for anyone to take them out unless there are more throwables coming in from Heavy. But I don't think Heavy's in a position where they want to really waste those grenades. And Dew, he's been caught by Kabi on the other end. As you can see, Heavy, they're in a sniping battle with AG Global, and with Dew down, that's a huge loss for the team. They do manage to pick him back up though, so the sniper is still back in play, but AG, they need to stabilize somehow, but how can they as PE is on the low ground looking to breach that second floor?
It's a beautiful decision. PE understand that the ring is going to be moving in that direction. They have to take out AG. Dew is the first to go down, and that's going to compromise the whole composition. No sniper for them as Sypha is currently on the run. Backs exposed to Heavy alongside with Team Solid, both trying to control the top and bottom as AG is the first to collapse. ESports have influenced the map. First person who moves out of that building between Heavy and as well as Team Solid, who are currently the elimination leaders of that round, is going to face elimination in third place. And PE Sports, they're just waiting for that blood to be seeping into the water, and they can smell it, right? The blue, it's slowly starting to cut themselves out, and Heavy is the first to move as they notice that PE Sports have ran. Now Heavy are trying to block out the ways of Team Solid, and they're going to be dropping down a UAV of their own to protect their glue walls. And unfortunately for Kabi, he wasn't looking. He gets panned in the back. He didn't see the concussive hit. He was blinded.
Oh my gosh, the maze, the damage, it's all coming into play. So Team Solid, they're the one that's going to be at a really awkward angle here. Heavy, they do have one player there, Mufasa. Mufasa, get out of there, Mufasa. We're not going to be seeing another accident, are we? Alan, though, getting into position. Oh, but he's running right into a full team, and he regrets his decision. Heavy, they've lost Alan. They're down to 2 players.
Oh, he should have preemptively thrown the cryo mine, but unfortunately, he was just going based off of the multiple sounds, right? He can't tell how close they realistically are, especially with multiple verticalities to work with, right? There's still 2 floors, the ground floor and the floor just above them, and Heavy need to hold out. As this blue is going to start closing in, Team Solid need to make some decisions because PE Sports, they let their hands off the wheel. They are on the highway with no guidance whatsoever, and they want to make sure that they are the last one standing. They're praying that Heavy and as well as Team Solid go at each other's throats and they can capitalize. And all 3 of these teams recognize whoever makes that first move is going to get punished.
There are several scenarios that could happen right now. Either all the teams wait for the circle to close in, and then Team Solid are in an awkward spot, having to jump down from the rooftop, leaving them very exposed. Or PE Sports storm the compound, eliminate Heavy, and it ends up being a PE versus Team Solid endgame. But the question is, what does PE want to do? Because I think this team is the X factor right now. They are the ones that decide who's going to be their final opponent. And as you can see, this circle, it is starting to slowly close in. And Team Solid, I mean, they have a monster truck on the that bottom ground floor. Are they thinking of trying to go for a very crazy maneuver? We've seen this before where things get extremely dire. We see Monster Truck Gaming. At the moment, though, both teams holding their ground. PE waiting for the final moment before they jump through that window. Because once they do, that's going to be a bottle.
Beautiful.
They're going together. Already losing Nero right off the bat. Lauho and LBT, though, going to be starting the fight here for the rest of them. They do manage to pick up Nero. So they are back to a 4-man strong roster. Team Solid shooting from the rooftop, but they haven't been able to get any major elims.
Amazing play coming out from Team Solid. Incredible, in a matter of fact, as they control both levels of verticality, and PE Sports decide, you know what? We can't beat you yet. You've already taken one of our teammates. We're taking out Heavy, guaranteeing ourselves in at least second place. Now it's a 3v4 scenario, and PE Sports, they've locked themselves in here into this fight club, and I think they're just going to play healing gaming. Unfortunately for them, they can't do that. They're not right smack in the center. They move the monster truck just a little bit, but unfortunately Guaxa is able to find one. Hawk takes the second, and that's Team Solid coming up with a big booyah. Incredible decision making. The A124 to find a pick. Everything working perfectly for Team Solid.
That was a really tough decision to make for PE Sports, and they decided to try and play the long game. They were hoping that Team Solid were the ones to make the move first to claim that central area of that circle. And I kind of feel like that was a mistake, because I think at some point PE realized we have to jump through a windowsill that's in the blue zone. You're going to be taking damage before you even get into that firefight with Team Solid. And moving that monster truck, I don't know about you, Gideon, but I feel like that might have been one of the main reasons as to why maybe the team fell. They put so much emphasis in pushing that monster truck away that the rest of the team completely exposed. They were shot through the windowsill because it was a very easy bottleneck to predict, and either you lose your teammates as they climb through the window, or they're coming through with barely any health to begin with. So yeah, Team Solid, patience paying off. I think for PE, do you think they would have had a chance if they made their move a little bit sooner?
Oh, it's all about timings, right? And the windows was really, really awkward. I understand where PE was coming from. They were expecting Team Solid they had to kind of give them that first initiative, right? They can wait out until the blue starts pushing them before they make their decision. And I think that Team Solid caught on very quickly to what was going on, which is why we saw them preemptively throw the A124 to maximize the amount of time that they're going to be stuck out in the glue. They knew that they had the cryo mine available, so anybody, their two members who are playing the 2-2 on that ground floor would be a lot of trouble, or at least the top side who are forced to drop down glue walls in necessary when PE decide to peek out. So in both scenarios, we see that at the end of the day, if the A124 was not on the side of Team Solid, I think this would have been a more playable scenario for PE, because Heavy, they were completely out of question. They were like, we already lost a member to Team Solid earlier for moving out first. We paid our dues. We don't want to have to evade taxes any longer.
Yeah, unfortunately, paying taxes still hurts in the long run. So look, I think Heavy did the best that they could in that situation, right? Just hope that the other two teams start that firefight first and you come in as the dark horse to try and clean things up. But that just wasn't a scenario that ended up happening. So Heavy, best that they could have done. But for Team Solid, already going to be feeling really good taking that first map of the day, because I mean, it's not just Team Solid. I think a lot of teams are going to be very pleased with their results after this first map, because we had an influx of elimination points. So many teams were reviving their teammates, and we were constantly seeing rosters. We saw so many elims on the scoreboard, but we kept seeing full 4-man teams up until, I want to say, that third, fourth circle. Teams were just buying back their team members as if they were just candy. So I am keen to see what the elimination scoreboard is going to look like for a lot of our teams. I think it's going to be all over the place. Maybe this round alone could be the deciding factor in determining either someone staying in top 12 or actually making it through. I know we want to see the scoreboard. It's still being calculated though, so hold your horses. But that was just game number 1, Gideon. That was just game number 1. We've still got 5 more games to go. And to see everyone be that bloodthirsty in our first game today, it's only going to get worse from here on out, which is a good thing. Okay? Worse is a good thing.
Well, I mean, maybe if the flight path wasn't so dog water, as some people may call it, I think that things could have been a little bit better, because by the time we started to get into the mid game, things started to stabilize, and then we saw the traditional ways of actually playing the game. And not to mention that BRU and as well as Foxer were making some smart decisions about intercepting and clearing their backs. I think that BRU in particular were doing their due diligence. But at the end of the day, it seems that Falcons and as well as R7, even though they took a couple of casualties in the earlier stages of the game, actually placed higher than them when we look onto it, especially coming into Ring 3 and Ring 4.
Okay. Are we seeing any underperformers for game number 1?
Oh.
Do you feel? Is there anyone that you feel like should not have been eliminated and taken out so soon? Because every team competing is looking to try and get that spot, but not everyone's going to make it to top 12. There are going to be some teams, I think, that won't even be able to scrape on by.
Oh, that one's a really tough one. I think my fairest assessment would probably be E1. I think they really couldn't be able to recuperate themselves. There were like, what, 5 teams within the northern side by Crossroads itself, and each angle was kind of already taken down, even after taking like a third engagement, after dealing with their first initial one against R7, and then after that fighting WAG, and then eventually getting shot in the back by RHK alongside with Buriram United. It's pretty difficult to recover from that spot, especially since everybody is taking casualties, so I don't really blame them necessarily. I just feel that if after their second, third, they called it quits, I think they might have been able to find a position.
Okay, I think it makes sense for me to sort of mention this. Red Hawks. I know a lot of fans, they're rooting for Red Hawks. They want to make it through. This was a tough round for Red Hawks. They ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. And if I recall correctly, they weren't able to pick up any eliminations during the round as well. So it was a very tough pill to swallow for this team because, as we said, okay, I told you all we are going to have an influx of elimination points. Look how many points were allocated to everybody in the game. Aside from Red Hawks, the minimum score given to teams was 7.
Minimum score of 7. And look at Team Solid, right? Usually when you see 30 points on the board, you're expecting maybe the top 3 or top 4 to have somewhere similar. You know, some might have like a single 21, and therefore the bottom will have like 12 and 13. But the distribution was crazy, and this is all due to just one awkward flight pathing. It's really sad to see for the Red Hawks not be able to find any eliminations because everybody else like E1, WAG were able to at least get pretty close to double digits in raw eliminations.
Yeah, and with all these points as well, this is going to skyrocket some players up that leaderboard. So if all of our games today end up being like this, where we see a complete bloodbath, but at the same time, the team medic is working full time essentially to keep the team alive, we are going to be seeing a very wacky leaderboard. You might even get to see some really outrageous point changes amongst that leaderboard overall. So this is game number 1. I really do not know what to expect for game 2 onwards because we're only getting a taste, an appetizer of what's to come. So if there are any teams that you feel haven't performed, ladies and gentlemen, do not panic. We still have 5 more games to go. Okay, we only played our first game today. We still have 5 more games to go. I assure you, any teams that are disappointed with their performance in game number 1, they will turn things up 2, maybe even 3 notches for game 2 onwards. But we do have to celebrate Team Solid for their booyah for this first game because, as their name suggests, they played really solid in that late game when it came to positioning and decision making and ultimately deciding when to apply that killing blow.
I thought it was Heavy that was running the Steffi. It was actually Team Solid, which makes it even more impressive, right? Debilitate and more importantly, amputate limbs as they are walking out. Deny them abilities, deny them glue walls, deny them throwables. Nothing was safe when you were facing up against Team Solid. One of my favorite additions coming into Free Fire World Series Global Finals, and more importantly, the full portraits, right? You look at their stats, you can also check out their kicks.
I know we very rarely get to see the entire player, right? Normally they sit in the booth, you just get to see the shoulders up generally, but I like seeing the jerseys on the teams as well. In particular, I have to say, Movie Stars, I think they have my favorite uniform this year thus far.
Really? Movie Stars?
Like their jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah, Movie Stars, I really like their uniform.
For me, I don't have a particular favorite, unfortunately, unless, you know, one of these teams decide to donate one or hand it on over. I'm very easily bought in those cases. But I think that generally the West, if we're talking about the kicks game, they have been looking, their footwear has been amazing. And no doubt that our MVP coming into this game just has to be Nyx, right? Again, he's holding on to that lower ground, but he's making sure that initial pick on Kabi was after his Valiant dash with the Oscar to break through 3 glue walls despite the maze being thrown out initially by Team Heavy, who tried to lock them into the compound on that bottom floor. And without this Oscar, it would have been impossible for them to actually cut on through because then you have to worry about UAV glue walls that are reinforcing them, making it twice as hard to cut through.
Yeah. Well, you have to also think at the same time, that's probably why the team was comfortable to sit in their current position, right? They knew that there was going to be that slew of glue walls. And so they said, it doesn't matter. We have a solution for this. We have the Valiant Dash on our Oscar. Let's fight them and make them think that we're actually not ready to deal with this. This is where the mastery of teams and understanding the actives that they have on their roster, allowing them to play certain situations that you normally wouldn't be able to, and basically tricking.
Yeah.
How to walk down, how, like, if I can I block them out? And the thing is, like, it's not always going to work because at the same time, you don't know when some of these actors are available. And in most cases, I think it's safe to assume, like, yes, the Valiant Dash, the Time Turner, the Riptide Rhythm, it's always going to be available. But if you do keep track of your opponent's active uses, that's the moment of weakness, where they don't have a way to retaliate. They don't have a way to save themselves.
And that's why I think that particularly like characters like Cryo, Steffi, and Aslong, and as well as the A124 definitely have their use cases, right? And with the new addition of Nero, it feels like bringing them all together gives you that certainty that you can like win fights, almost guaranteed sometimes, because even supports are unable to keep on holding on into these longer and longer fights. But now we're looking at our game schedule. The next map up is going to be Nextera, the city of the future, and for good reason. And I would love to see how these teams are going to adapt, because the last time we saw Nextera, if I remember correctly, it was happening on day 1 between A and C. Things were a little interesting, right? I mean, obviously the 5 was very, very standard, but generally the way that we saw these rotations were very much based on clearing our backs and making some hard reads on the ring. And I think that's what I'm waiting to see, right? These hard reads, and so far, Heavy, PE have done some phenomenal groundwork to figure out where that last ring is going to be. They did win out on the 50-50 initially on Purgatory, but I think it can get a little bit better as we get into Nextera, where there's a little bit more unpredictability on how it pulls.
I want to see another crazy flight path, Gideon. I know that's a terrible thing to say. I want to see it though, because not only does it make the games interesting for us viewers, but all of a sudden we now have to see these teams realize, okay, a flight path, maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. But for teams that don't have it work for them, we see in real time how, like, what kind of contingency plan they have. What's the backup plan where you're not able to make it to your normal headquarters? We are going to highlight Brazil very quickly on the stream, because it's not silly to say that Brazil have been doing absolutely insane here at the global finals. Floxo obviously is sitting in first place on that leaderboard, E1 in 5th place, and then Team Solid. Yeah, this team is in 12th place now, but after that round, they're not in 12th anymore. They're definitely not in 12th anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with 30 points added to their name.
Yep. I mean, this is from last week's stats, and we already got a good idea of how these teams generally want to kind of feel the rest of the lobby out. I think that Fluxzone as well as E1 have very distinct playstyles, but despite the name Team Solid, I think they're the more flexible team between both of them, right? E1, there are moments of definite hesitation, because at the end of the day, it's about the macro more than the micro. I think that Team Solid has a good balance between the two, with Fluxo on top, perfecting their own game style, which is why they always come out on top in Brazil. Even so, I think the West bring a really good argument as to why they're going to pull back the trophy again to the West. But so far, we haven't seen teams really step up just yet. I mean, other than map number 1, I'm hoping that Nextera is going to give us a little bit of a better litmus test.
I don't think it's the map that's really going to be the litmus test. I feel like it's going to be the teams themselves if they were not happy with their performance originally. But very quickly, though, we do have a quote here by Bops himself. He says, "We've learned from EWC 2025, and just like in 2024, when we struggled at EWC, we went on to win the Free Fire Global Finals 2024. So in his eyes, EWC is not really a great testing ground to determine who's going to do the best at the global finals. The global finals is its own thing. EWC is its own thing. And for anyone out there that is genuinely curious who are the favorites to win the global finals, like at the moment it's Fluxo. Even though if you tuned into EWC, Fluxo were nowhere to be seen at the top of the leaderboard.
It was a different time, a different patch, right? And I think that's why these patches really, whoever adapts better to the patch generally has a huge advantage coming into these internationals. And I think so far, the international meta is slowly being integrated. We're seeing that teams are, after week number 1, are slightly tweaking their builds and their styles of compositions. Even on a macro level, we're looking at some more precise interceptions. BRU in particular have been able to find these big interceptions, which netted them a good amount of elimination points, but it's coming at the cost of the ring, right? Usually we expect BRU to be thinking about the mid game, hunkering themselves down, finding their spot on the map, but I feel like right now, as they play interceptions, it's keeping them under the radar at the very least. But it's time to look to the skies, to look to the future as we start making our way into the one and only Nextera.
Game number 2 is now officially underway. But what's this flight path, ladies and gentlemen? Is it something that is going to shake things up a little bit? Or are we going to maybe have a bit more of a stable early game for all of our competitors today? And everyone's locked and loaded. They're all ready to go. Let's have a look and see what that map is looking like here so far, Gideon. And it's a generous one. It's a generous one. I mean, Heavy, they still make it to Intellect Center. I think they are pretty happy that they can still make it to their home base. But are we seeing any crazy plays? And at the moment, it looks like for map 2, everyone's going to tone it down a little bit. They're deciding they don't want to go for any of those surprise hot drops. They want to focus on their macro in the early game, and then they'll start looking for those fights once they have something that they're comfortable with.
I don't know. I'm looking at that southern side, and AG has a very interesting spread. Now, if anybody decides to attack AG at this stage of the game, they have a very high likelihood that they can actually wipe out the 2 scouting members, right? Because they've gotten north and south of Plazaria. They know exactly who's in Farmtopia, Gravlab, and as well as Deca Square. And speaking about high possibilities of engagements, it's on that southeastern side between Mudslide and Deca Square, plus Boxing Gym, because there's so many teams who have kind of decided, you know what, we just need one guy to start scouting out the other areas and maybe slow down their rotations before we can start hunkering down in our own individual areas. And now we see the first couple of eliminations come through. We cut back to ESPORTS, who was hovering around Mudslide, but this is the one that I've been wanting to see. Team Solid facing off against RHK. The Red Hawks have already lost a member as Team Solid is taking their time. Healing UAV already dropped down his trap with a Winchester in hand, trying to make sure that Ninja is going to take some more punishment. These kill contracts have been very good in the earlier stages and also will help them with their economy moving into the mid game.
Yeah, poor Red Hawks. I mean, they have had a terrible start this round, unfortunately. I think Kutish is the last player left standing for Red Hawks. So if they do get successfully chased down by Team Solid, they are going to be ending the round again in 12th place. So we'll have to see if PE Sports ends up being the ones to maybe saving Red Hawks' lives in this competition. Because you can see here, Team Solid, they see a team coming, and I think they're now realizing, okay, we have a new target, we have a new focus, let's try and grab these eliminations, because they're riding a emotional high right now, especially after securing such a convincing game number 1 of the day. It's just a question now of, does PE overstep their bounds? And Kutish, he is right next to Lauho. But Lauho is going to fly into Team Solid, but onto the highway. So I think all of a sudden he has scouted out some crucial information for the team. And PE Sports, this is a team that's hungry. They love eliminations. We'll see if they want to try and go for that one. Team SR from AG, though, not going to be happy himself because he gets shot to the ground. But Demon, the counterplay, is there thanks to Cypher. Diana gets finished off by Dew. And all of a sudden, GOW not going to be looking too happy.
Oh, the Wolves, they got a little too hungry here for some AG, but unfortunately AG would manage, after having such a wide spread across Plazaria, they ended up deciding moving towards Deca Square side, right? And now taking that engagement has already netted them a lot of profits because they're very close to the engagement that's about to happen by the mudslide here between PE Sports and as well as Team Solid. Resources have been used though. Lauho is the only one sitting on top, like we saw earlier earlier, but you can see the rest of Team Solid. Nero, oh, with LBT! Nero gets gunned down to the ground, and so does LBT. Where did the communication break down between the two? Lao Ho could not support, and even he goes down. PE Sports with.
I had to pick my mouth off the floor because that was a crazy play coming up from PE. Unfortunate that they weren't able to successfully make it to that highway in time. They got shot down before they could even reach it. So, yeah, PE, they do have a pretty hard reset. They did get the buybacks in. So, PE will be coming back into the game, but they just fed Team Solid 3-4 solid eliminations. Nyx, though, Nyx going to be sniped there by Baros. He does get picked up, though, but all of a sudden, AG Global now threatening Team Solid.
And this is what I was worried about. As they conquered Deca Square from GOW. Oh, wait, hold on. All right. Unfortunate for Sci-Fi. He gets picked back up at the very least, and they need to take out Nyx now because Traps, he can only do so much. Team Solid need to back away from this fight. They weren't able to recuperate a majority of the loot. 2 on the ground, 1 as well in the middle on top of a POI. And as soon as they were going for it, that's when AG Global got involved. Now Trap needs to turn the corner and beats down Sypha with a Bison. Good night, go to sleep, and now they turn around the corner. As you can see, GOW and as well as AG looking to recuperate from their fallen forces, but Team Solid have not been able to do so. As they take their time back, turns the corner, Trap will buy as much time as possible. Guaxa needs to make a decision on where he's going to go. It's either they completely give up on this fight, or Traps has to bait out AG Global into the open, exposed to the Eastern Highway. And he's not going to let that happen. He's trying to make sure that Trap takes as much damage as possible as he looks for the interception and guesses correctly on the window and takes him out with a headshot. And they know where Guaxa is on the opposite side. Couldn't make it to the mark. Riptide Rhythm comes out. Sypha is there behind him, and that's Team Solid going out as the first team on Nextera.
Going out with a bang as well. It looked like the team was going to snowball in this round, but they get shut down in 12th place. Oh my gosh, what a shocking turn of events. So we're not going to be seeing any back-to-back booyahs in this game. We will be having a new team secure a booyah. And over on the other side, we do have Movistar's R7. They've just picked up Games King as they're actually running and being chased by Red Hawks. Red Hawks running in as a 4-man roster. But look at this though, the entire R7 lineup just launching themselves to the other side of the map. And Red Hawks, I think it is wise for them not to pursue. We have seen what's happened in the past. Teams being launched and all of a sudden finding themselves feeding their bodies to other teams. But R7, they're not safe. They are basically neighbors to E1 and to Buriram as well, and Heavy. So we could be in for a shooting range any moment now. But E1, they also have another target in their sights. It's Fluxo, who is across the bridge. Man, there are so many teams here, Gideon. It is not funny. I kind of feel bad for whoever has to leave their compound if the circle takes an unexpected turn.
Yeah, I think that right now, E1 is an extremely dangerous spot. Look at that pull to that northern side. This is why you see so many teams here. And it looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, WAG actually, they've already used their binoculars to scout out the northern side of E1. They give up the museum to go even further north into the open play space area, which is a good and bad thing for a couple of reasons. One, they know for a fact nobody's there, so why not hold on to museum as the ring starts to close in? They've got plenty of space to play for, unless they're worried about whoever is coming in from Intellect Center. Now, besides that, RHK, even though they decided to give up on that fight, they were able to take some eliminations against GOW, and they meet them once again. They backed away from R7 to face off against GOW one more time by Turbine.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, Tian getting a pick up there onto a Flicker. Najat is still stuck onto his teammate though, still thinking if they want to go for Hans, but I think after losing Flicker there, they are hesitating to go into the fight. But who isn't hesitating is Heavy running into Buriram. This is only a 3-man roster. Moshi already down to less than half of his health. On the other end though, we are seeing E1 being jumped on by WAG. Jonah though catching out Mufasa himself and getting a very crucial drop. And now Heavy not feeling too confident about this fight at all. Wasana dropping low, fighting into Kabi, but he goes down. And all of a sudden, Buriram not looking too healthy themselves, but neither are Heavy. 2 versus 2. Alan looking for his next target. We still have more. Kabi, though, getting caught by Jonah in the nick of time. Huge play for the team, and Jonah, he eliminates Kabi Heavy. They've lost the fight. They started with 4 versus 3, and now it's 1 versus 2.
Man, they got griefed. BRU got griefed heavily this time, and even though the Heavy makes it out of here, we'll see whether they're able to make it the full recovery, because GOW and as well as RHK, this has been a bloody war between the two from Turbines for quite some time, and it hasn't ended just yet. The recovery game keeps on getting disrupted because these two teams think very similarly of how to actually pull themselves back. Now resources have been blown, and oh no, Dian, he goes down to the launcher coming in from Nedja, and they also secure that elimination. GOW with only 2 eliminations need to make it a play, and it looks like they will go in for Kutush as he hops back out with a valiant dash. He's expecting somebody else to jump out of that window, but with 25 HP, Nedja takes him down. Demon gone as well. Hans trying his best to cover it. No, he ends up going down as well. They managed to get the revive at the bare minimum onto Demon, who's coming down with Dian, but I think that the damage, it's already done, right? There's nothing much that they can do from this point onwards. RHK finally should end this fight sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think Rip already knows that there's no way he gets out of this.
No!
Essentially, you can only really waste time, but Team SR from AG, they actually catch up Red Hawks, and they might have to go for a bit of a skirmish before they make it into that next circle. But who else is skirmishing? It is Fluxo and WAG. Now, WAG, they are on this second level, so Fluxo is going to have to try and fight their way up there if they do want to aim for these eliminations, but it seems like they are that hungry. But GOW, they have run into a completely different issue, losing players left, right, and center on the other side of the map. But back here, Fluxo playing with this window, with these blue walls into WAG. They're trying to find an angle, and Butson, he may have just found one on that second level, but he can't find that window. Please Blood has blocked this one too, so he is stuck there until something opens up, and Gio, he is considering going on that first floor window. The team, they're still there. They're camping it out. WAG, I hope they're ready for this push because it's coming from our previous world champions.
WAG, they gave up Museum to try and make sure that they could gatekeep on the northern side. And Fluxo really taking a long time from Intellect Center to get to this point. Didn't come with much punishment, but WAG have been preparing for this. They were prepared to take on a team at this stage. And from this building specifically, look at the beautiful fortifications that's come out. But how many glue walls did it take? The A1 has already been thrown towards that second floor. 2 members already caught in between. Cluster grenades, with the help of the Alvaro, is already going to open things up. Counter nade back. Again, it's a numbers game. How many pieces of util do you realistically have as RHK fall back into facing R7 after being chased by AG Global from the southern side up in towards Museum, and finally RHK gets beamed down in 10th. At this point, even Team Solid has also... Oh, wait, no! RHK got beamed down in 11. Team Solid ends up following immediately after them. And Fluxo still holding on to as much as they possibly can. R7 need to make sure that they can get into the compound, but I think playing on the outside might be a little smarter here. Kind of depends on what AG want to do.
Yeah, I don't think Movie Stars really want to force a fight inside that compound. They might try and wait for them to exit through that front door and get high. And Jonah, they're getting ready to make their way through, but it looks like Movie Stars, they're going to be the ones to find a better position first. But at the same time, they are getting very, very close to what could be a potential firefight. They see AG on that rooftop there, 4 players hiding in one corner. And Joker's just waiting for that moment. He just wants anybody to stick their head out so he can get that one tap. Anybody at all. For AG, they have some grenades cooked up. They're trying to flush them away, so they have that moment so that they can jump down. I have to say, AG, they put themselves in a really weird spot. And looks like the fight has finally broken up between Fluxo and WAG. And Fluxo seems like they're the ones on the losing end of this, with only bops remaining for the team. WAG still have the entire roster. Oh, Fluxo unsuccessful in this attack of theirs.
Yeah, but WAG were super prepared, right? Oh man, these reinforced glue walls with the U-wall UAV, with the glue wall UAV, disgusting. PE get bummed out in 8th, unfortunately, but Fluxo, we'll see how this pans out for them, right? They still have 1 member still left, but no eliminations whatsoever. A complete shutdown here by WAG. against the Western favorites. Now, R7, they're at full fighting force. They see Jonah. They quickly take him out, and that's going to be BRU falling out in 7th as well. They've had a tough time, especially in the latter half of the game. The mid game was going all right until it didn't from Heavy, and they recognize that. Now we see that Falcons trying to control the center here of the current ring. Eventually, once it starts pulling through, that's when Falcons will become gatekeepers. R7, southern side gatekeepers. They see E1 crossing around on the eastern side into the Falcons. This could be an opportunity as you see R7 now solely moving towards the eastern side from the south. The nades are coming up towards Falcons, and they're hoping that they can get a little bit more, but Tela is already finding one. Kiroro nades Leon as Joker takes off his head, stealing away an elimination. E1 eliminated, and now it's R7 facing off. Oh, a good shot from Games King onto On Fire. This might initiate a push. No, Hax is already down. Riptide Rhythm has already come through. Time Turner to pull him back up. WAG on the opposite side with AG Global on that roof, looking down towards R7's side. It's a battle of attrition now.
Yeah, lots of throwables being thrown at Falcons, but the Falcons are still holding firm.